Guys, wouldn't your wife or girlfriend love it if you treated her to the very best this Christmas? Now you can, with the world's softest pajamas by Pajamagram. Created by a team of pajama experts, the world's softest PJs are lighter than a cloud, softer than a bunny, like cashmere, only better. She'll love how heavenly they feel. Includes free gift packaging and Christmas delivery is guaranteed. So visit pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the dirt. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me a boom.
It's Friday. He's Jalen Rose.
What up, dog?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in.
And we are Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio. What do we do?
We give the people what they want.
The people want another full weekend of NFL playoff football, and the people got it. We will break down all of the games very quickly, starting with the first game. The Falcons hosting the Seattle Seahawks. Will Richard Sherman travel with Julio Jones?
He will
Please
not.
say yes. Please say yes.
That's not what their defense is aligned and schemed to do. One that has won a Super Bowl and lost another, earned the title Legion of Boom. The goal is to have Richard take away one side of the field. And if he's able to do that against the Atlanta Falcons, that still may not be enough. Let me introduce everybody to Matty Ice and this Atlanta squad. They led the NFL in points. Matt Ryan also has the highest single season yards per attempt average of any quarterback this year.
What? Is he the MVP of the league?
He also led the league in QBR. And this is whether Julio Jones was in or out of the lineup. They're an explosive team. Sanu played well. Freeman out of the backfield played well. So playing at home and going against a Seattle team that does not have Earl Thomas, and the first thing I remember is them playing against Carolina. He goes down. The next play, Ted Ginn
over the top.
Catches a bomb.
Over the top.
Like literally the next play. And I know they have Bam Chancellor. Bennett has been showing up. Cliff Averill could get to the pass rusher. But I think this is going to be a shootout. And Seattle's offense has struggled at different points of the year.
They have. There's a lot of upset Falcons fans for this reason. They've announced the halftime performer, Atlanta legend, gentleman whose face is synonymous with the city itself, Ludacris. Falcons fans are like, where's Future? How come Future can't perform at halftime?
I got love for Luda. I've appeared in a video with him as well, called Move. The Mansion was featured. If you haven't seen that, go to YouTube and check it out. We're coming back to the theater near to you soon. Jalen and Jacoby. But with that being said, this is a missed opportunity for the Falcons.
I know.
This literally shows how a city truly has not been dominant for a really long time. Because if this was anything New York, Los Angeles, no question, they would have doubled, tripled down.
Luda could be on a world tour, be like, I'm sorry, Berlin. I'll be back. I'll be back in a couple years. But there's a Falcons game on Sunday.
If this was Detroit, no doubt we would have made sure that feature artist would be performing. So Luda has carved out a legendary status not only as an artist, but as an actor and as an entrepreneur. Yep. But come on, Falcons. You must have Future Hendrix performing.
Have to. Have him there. Have him on the sideline. Put him in uniform.
It's so much.
Put him in uniform.
And Russell Wilson, one of the amazing dual threats in the league. Precise may return to run the football. And we see how he and Doug Baldwin could get going and Jimmy Graham could get going. But their offensive line has been shaky.
Let's be real,
though. You must have Future in the stadium performing at halftime.
It's just, I don't understand how they don't. I would have him there. I would have him on the Jumbotron, their Future Cam, just on the Jumbotron the entire time. Just
coming
Future.
Up next.
Future. In the future. Future.
When somebody's running and players looking at the Jumbotron, there should be Future running.
Who's going to win the game? Falcons.
I'm going Atlanta.
Falcons are going to win this one.
In a shootout, playing at home.
And
the
then
Dome wins
the
out.
Texans travel to Foxborough. This is clearly a lopsided matchup.
You have a KRS-One available?
Yes, I do, actually.
It's been a great run, Houston.
I mean, let's be honest. You know the Texans, they've all booked hotels in the Caribbean next weekend. They booked their flights from Boston to vacation. Like, even the Texans themselves, they're looking in the mirror and be like, look, I'm not saying we can't win. I'm just saying we're not going to win. Like, things can happen.
Their defense is amazing. I'm glad to see Clowney in particular play at an elite level. And this is without the reigning defensive player of the year, J.J. Watt, which continues to heighten the defensive coordinator, Romeo Crennel's value, because he's doing an amazing job with that team. But the quarterback carousel has been an abomination. So much so, Brock Osweiler left the arena last week on his Kirk Cousins. Like, how you like me now?
Yeah.
Y'all needed me today, huh?
I do not think that Tom Brady will finish this game. I think this will be so lopsided, and Clowney's just always there. Tom Brady gets rid of the ball very quickly, so I don't think he'll be getting knocked around as much as some people might think so. But I don't think he finishes this game. It's just I think they're going to be up by 30 points at some point.
And this is without Gronk, but I agree with you. The Patriots roll.
And then we have the most intriguing matchup because the Steelers and Chiefs was moved to a night game. We're going chronologically. We're going to discuss the Packers traveling to Jerry's World. This is the game that I have circled this weekend. There's one where you have to tell your wife, like, listen, for these 4 hours, I'm not, I'm gone. I'm done. Nope, no babies, no errands, no fix the garage,
you can't
mow the lawn,
well,
no
you can't
shovel the
do that
driveway.
for 2 college football games. That's 9 hours.
That's 3 days. Yeah, that's 3 days. Packers at Cowboys. Can the Cowboys offense keep up with Aaron Rodgers and the red-hot Packers offense?
I think the question should be in reverse because they're one team that has the second best triplets this year, and they reside in Dallas. Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott,
And don't sleep on
Dez Bryant, and also Cole Beasley continue to emerge, and they have a future Hall of Fame tight end in Jason Witten. Of course, the Packers have the dynamic player at quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. But the difference for Green Bay, no Eddie Lacy. They have Randall Cobb. They have Ty Montgomery. They have Adams. All were terrific last week. Also without Jordy Nelson, I give the edge to the Dallas Cowboys, who could turn around and stick the football into the stomach of Ezekiel Elliott.
the exposed stomach.
And control the clock.
Is there a part of you that's secretly rooting for Tony Romo to make an appearance in this game? Because you know I love drama. I would love nothing more than Tony Romo to just have Dak go down and Tony Romo, the whole Jerry's World just comes to their feet. Tony Romo drives them down the field to win the game.
I have something for Tony.
What's that?
Here's a clipboard. Hold it tight.
Okay. Look busy. Can I get a headset?
Yes, keep a pen in your hand at all
Can I
times.
put eye black on, though, just so it looks like I'm going to come in the game? Can I put some eye black on? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
And then finally we have the Steelers traveling to Kansas City in a game when they're on the road, but they really don't feel like the underdogs.
I'm surprised with this matchup on paper how a lot of people are tilting so heavily toward the Steelers.
Oh, I'm all the way towards the Steelers. I'm not tilting. I'm upside down towards the Steelers.
The Kansas City defense is underrated.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with that.
They got their elite pass rusher back last week in Houston. They have a terrific D-back core led by Peters and Barry. Reminds me of the throwback version that was led by Dale Carter and Deron Cherry.
These are all valid points, Mr. Rose.
KC playing at home. Alex Smith doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Tyreek Hill is truly explosive. They find ways to get the football to players that can make plays in and up the field. Jeremy Maclin is still there. Travis Kelce is still there. I know the killer bees in Pittsburgh are on the swarm, and I know Shazier has been on his J.R. Smith and ain't put on his shirt all week. I get it. But I'm just going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that team, along with Atlanta, are going to be bandwagon teams on Monday that people feel like, man, I overlooked them.
Get off the bandwagon.
Finally, you didn't give me a winner in one game. Who wins in Dallas, Texas?
Dallas wins. More firepower, more balance, more people that can make a big play, and also they can control the ball.
I love this story. Now, this story is not being covered with the vigor that I feel like it deserves, but we happen to have our own show, so we can talk about whatever we want. I love this story. NBA referees are asserting that the NBA is allowing Mark Cuban to wield power over them via threats and intimidation. What? NBA referees they're saying, you are letting Mark Cuban influence what happens on the basketball court with his threats and intimidation through the media.
I'm going to show you how much intimidation Mark Cuban has had on the officiating this year.
Okay, please do, Mr. Rose.
His team is tied for the worst record in the Western Conference.
But he's so intimidating and threatening.
They're 1-8 in their own division.
Do you watch that Shark Show?
They're 5-16 on the road.
You ever seen him on a treadmill, though? He's so intimidating.
When you're in a salary cap driven sport, you need big moves to work. So over the last couple of years, who have they thrown money at? Darren Williams, Wesley Matthews,
Bogut,
Andrew Bogut, who has an opportunity to be a free agent,
and Barnes,
and Harrison Barnes. So you need all of those players to be performing at an elite level to go with Dirk.
Didn't work. Nope.
So now you have a future Hall of Famer and one of the best coaches in the league, and clearly a frustrated owner that's a keyboard bully. I'm going to get the officials back. Hey, let me tell you something. You know when the calls go against you? When the other team's
bad. Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing here's my thing for the NBA refs is I would never show my cards that I felt that my colleagues and I were being intimidated and threatened. You know what I mean? It makes you look bad.
No, it doesn't.
It makes you look bad.
This is the perfect time to do it. You got to kick him when he's down. It's one thing if he's in first place, then you're the officials, you can't say nothing. But now you put that statement out and you have people like me like their team stinks, as opposed to us not even talking about them today.
I like Hassan Whiteside. One of the reasons I like him, he's not that polished athlete robot when he gives answers. You know what I mean? Like, he keeps it a little too real, which I appreciate, especially in this profession. Here's what he had to say about the All-Star voting process. Quote, I look at guys and they just do stuff to win the fans over. Make jokes on Twitter to get people to vote for them. It ain't got nothing to do, really, with talent. Do you agree with Hassan Whiteside? And you know who he's talking about.
As long as people are voting, it's not only about talent.
No, it's not.
It's about volume.
It is about jokes on Twitter. I would vote for Embiid over Whiteside, even though I really believe that Whiteside is a more productive NBA player.
Chris Bosh, and shout to my homeboy Hottie in the T-Dot, was one of the first athletes in the NBA that embraced social media and used it as a tool to try to get all-star votes.
Remember him on YouTube with all those different characters? He was like straight up good. He was good. So
through that, this has now become a phenomenon that you must use your social media in order to drive the opportunity to get people to vote for you. You saw it happen last year with Kyle Lowry and a Justin Bieber tweet. How about Tristan Thompson? Imagine if the Kardashian family decided that we really wanted him to be in the All-Star game.
Ooh.
They could get him there.
They could do that in 5 minutes.
So here you go, Tristan. If they love you.
You got to pull that favor. You know?
They can easily get you in.
Yeah, they can get you in. Next time you're at dinner over there, just be like, hey,
everybody pull out their like we said with Boogie. Everybody pull out your phone right now.
Yeah. That's
100 million people.
Tristan's going to be starting the All-Star game. Allen Iverson. He's made some appearances lately. You know, he's signed on for the 3-on-3 league with Ice Cube, which I'm really excited about. He made an appearance and he was wearing a hat. And on that hat, it said Rebel Alliance. Do you know what that means?
I do not.
It's a Star Wars reference. Yep. There's the evil empire, and then there's the rebel alliance that fights against the evil empire. Do you think that Allen Iverson knows what that means?
I would say no, because
I don't think so
I
either.
would think he would be a member of the evil empire, not the rebel alliance.
And it sounds cool. It's like, oh, rebel alliance. Like, I'm down with that. Whatever. Does it fit? Sure. Why not?
Here's the thing.
Tell me the thing.
AI's with me. He ain't never seen Star Wars.
You don't think Allen Iverson never seen Star Wars either?
He ain't sitting down for 3 hours to watch that.
I thought Star Wars was like required watching for all 13-year-old boys.
He was the first NBA MVP rocking a do-rag and cornrows. I know for a fact he ain't seen Indiana Jones.
At some point, he asked the coach, he's like, how were they do-rag during the game? Like, is there a rule against that? Is that just like a sweatband or something? Like, if they can wear headbands, how come I can't wear a do-rag in the game? At some point, he had that conversation, true or false?
He had it with David Stern,
Probably.
not a coach.
LeBron put out a video, as he does, and he's announcing that he's going to have his very first signature sneaker retroed, which is a popular thing with sneakers now. And this first shoe was pretty dope, and I think it'll be popular. But watching the video, I just had one question. Is LeBron late to the beard game? Like, he's got this big beard now, and I kind of feel like he's 2 years late to the beard game.
It's one of those things where you accentuate what you have. Guys that feel like they have nice arms or chest, they find a way to poke them out. Same with women. You liked that reference, didn't you? In reverse. For LeBron James, on the top of his head, you could clearly tell he's done a lot of reaching over the last 10 years.
Yes, he's reaching. He's stretching, he's reaching.
When he does
on.
a commercial, it's probably like, all right, everybody's in place. Don't move. All right, you put this right on the top of my head. Y'all ready to shoot? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rush right over there. So with that being said, he has a nice full beard, and people like myself who can't grow one, he's just introverting, rocking some hair, since he can't really do it consistently up top.
It's a great
because
point.
when you catch him at 10
point.
in the morning at practice, he got a pork chop up there.
Oh, no, he tears off one of his sleeves and puts that in his head before he does media interviews. It's a savvy move. There was a really good sort of Bleacher Report deep dive on the Walton family and Luke Walton and Bill Walton. And you know me, I don't read. I'm not reading the whole thing. But I did find this nugget interesting. Luke Walton, at one point, was babysat by members of the Grateful Dead. What? My question for you is this. At what age do you think he was first exposed to marijuana smoke?
When he started breathing.
I'm going to say maybe before that. Maybe even in the womb. Who knows? Tom Brady released a playoff pump-up video for his teammates and fans that features the Be Like Water speech from none other than one of your heroes, Mr. Bruce Lee. What? How could they possibly not win the Super Bowl when you are motivated by Bruce Lee? They're winning the Super Bowl.
Bruce Lee is one of my favorites. All-time classic.
And I know you know the Be Like Water speech.
I do not.
You couldn't even pretend just for the show?
No, because initially when we were watching those movies on television, the words and the lyrics didn't match up. Their mouths were moving.
They were dubbed over.
And then...
Okay.
And then before you knew it, you had kids in the neighborhood making ghetto nunchucks. Walking around with the flat slippers.
I could give you a sample of the Be Like Water speech, but it's just not the same. It's like me singing a Whitney Houston song. Like, you need to see it.
Karate pants and all of that.
Dana White countered Floyd Mayweather's first take offer. Floyd Mayweather's offer was a little. He's like, all right, Connor, you get $15 million, I get $100 million.
Well,
that's where he starts it.
Well, here's the total purse as far as Floyd sees it. So before you tell me what Dana offered, Floyd sees $115 million to be made.
And then back end, though. No, $115 million just on the front end, and then we split the back end.
Correct. So of that $115 million, he wants to make sure he gets how much?
100.
Okay, so that means Dana's offer has to be in the ballpark of...
Dana's offer is, Floyd, you get $25 million.
That's $75 million
Connor,
less.
you get $25
million. That's $10 million more.
That's how a negotiation works.
No, a negotiation works as Floyd. I'll give you 90 and you give him 20.
But I feel like Floyd's counter is going to be like, all right, cool. Dana White, here's the thing, though. this is a boxing match, and you're a UFC guy.
Yep.
So we'll be controlling that.
I talked on this program when it had an opportunity to go down. Conor McGregor started trolling everybody when he started getting licenses in California.
Mm-hmm.
When the last time you seen Floyd fight in Cali?
Never.
And here's the other thing. Do he still have that tab in Vegas
Yeah.
that he need to worry about?
Yeah, he's got to pay $150,000
Okay.
to the Nevada Sports Commission so he can get a license to
So
box
you
there.
probably will see Geno Smith pay IK before that happens. So
sure
if he
Conor has
doesn't
a-
handle that, how else can he even discuss fighting Floyd? We know that's not happening at this point.
D'Angelo Russell's back on Snapchat. Don't worry, though, Jalen. Don't worry. Don't worry. Nothing crazy this time. Him and Julius Randle wanted to go to the Spurs arena just to get a little extra work in, before the game. They went there at night. The arena, full of bats. Dozens of bats flying around that arena. Dozens and dozens of bats. I have a lot of questions for you about this. Are you afraid of bats?
Absolutely, yes.
Why?
Yep.
You don't need a reason to be scared.
No.
Bats aren't scary, though. Bats aren't. What scares you about bats?
So the things that normally fly have a level of grace and elegance to them.
Oh, I like what you're doing here.
Bats just seem like they're coming for problems.
They seem a little drunk. That's what it is. Bats do kind of seem like they're intoxicated when they fly around.
And I remember being in an arena, I think it was San Antonio, where we saw a bat in the arena, but it didn't affect the play. And we know about the situation where Manu actually swatted the bat out of the air before.
Is that a top 5 Manu moment in his career? I think the other 4 game-winning shots or whatever, but that goes on the tape, of his when everyone does their sort of retro piece when he announces his retirement. That shot is going to be in every single one of those. Would you continue to warm up and play if you were being surrounded by dozens of bats?
Absolutely not.
You would just go home.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know that bats can't see?
Yeah.
Do you know that bats use sonar?
I didn't.
Does that change the way you look at bats?
See, here's the thing. On this show today, I'm dressed in all black. So fly. I should be wearing airplane wings.
That's the thing? Mm-hmm. Okay. Anthony Bennett signed with the team, Jalen. And you thought that he was done. Anthony Bennett signed with the team.
Not an NBA team.
Fabernacci of the EuroLeague. He signed with the team, though. Will we ever see Anthony Bennett in an NBA uniform again that's not a Summer League uniform?
You probably will see him in a uniform, but you probably won't see him in someone's rotation. Mm-mm. But here's where I do a distinction. It's very notable and a dream come true to be one of the 450 players that are lucky enough to play in the NBA. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why only 4,000 people have ever ran up and down the court and played in the game.
One thing I love that you said is there's no such thing as a bust.
And here's a guy that while he doesn't have what it takes to play in the NBA, he still is getting paid to play basketball. Mm-hmm. Something that he loves and he's passionate about. Wish we all could be so lucky.
I'm not saying that he might make it into a rotation again. I believe in Anthony Bennett. He's a young man.
You know the rotation he's going to make it in? The buffet.
Well done, Mr. Rose. What's your buffet strategy when you're at a buffet?
Oh, that's easy.
I've got a very distinct strategy.
No, I got a real... No, you want to...
Yes.
Okay. I'm getting there either right at the beginning or right when they do the refills.
Okay. My strategy is this.
Hot off the press.
Plate number 1. A tiny, tiny sampling of everything. Plate number 1 is sometimes your eyes get hungrier than your hands. You just have to remember a tiny sampling of everything. Then you're identifying your roster. Then you choose your roster for plate number 2. That's my buffet strategy.
Here's a strategy for you, and it's probably because you're a husband with 3 kids. The appetite of your eyes should never exceed the one of your hands. Drop the mic. Where's the rim shot?
That went completely over my head. I'll take it as a compliment, though. Carmelo Anthony and his beleaguered New York Knicks were hosting the Chicago Bulls with his Banana Boat brother, Dwayne Wade. Yes, I know they'll be both in the same Hall of Fame. Carmelo Anthony rose up to take a three-point shot. It did not touch the rim. It did not touch the backboard. It's what's commonly known as an air ball. The Madison Square Garden fans, my favorite fans in the entire league, proceeded to boo Carmelo Anthony. Was it foul for the fans to boo Carmelo Anthony?
No player is exempt from being booed.
No.
On a given play, night, week, month. Because guess what happens when you perform? Sometimes it's not your best. Whether you're an entertainer, athlete, musician, it just happens. You just hope you build up enough equity with an audience that they choose not to. So when the Cavs struggle, the Warriors struggle, the Spurs struggle, and they get beat by 20 points,
They're not getting booed.
they're not getting booed. Now, other teams this year who really are in the malaise of, are they going to be in the playoffs?
The Knicks
a
are not
couple
going to be in
come
the
to
playoffs.
mind.
The Knicks are not going to be in the playoffs.
Pacers, the Wizards, the Bulls, and the Knicks. You like, they could be in. Maybe they're going to be out. Are they on the decline? So, for Melo, who signed with the Knicks, remember he and Amari were going to be a super team?
I don't want to talk about Amari. One thing we do with our 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed is we start asking specific questions. We want people to, we want to focus them in, okay? And we're going to talk more about the NFL playoffs, and we're going to talk more about the NBA, and we're going to talk more about sports. But right now, we're just going to take a quick pause, because one of the things that Jalen and I can give people advice on is their relationships. Love and romance is one of the most important parts of your life, more important than sports.
So many people
So we asked
use your name in vain.
our listeners and watchers
Love.
to send us their relationship advice questions, and we got some great responses. Are you prepared to fix people's love lives, Mr. Rose?
Let's get it.
Miss Lola had this to say. Trying to get back in the dating scene after a year off. Don't want to do online dating feeling rusty. Miss Lola, your instincts are good, okay? Again, I've been in a relationship for 15 years. I don't do the online dating thing, but I have a lot of friends that do, and I'm very familiar with it. I'm educated in it. A lot of thirsty dudes out there. Yeah. Just a lot of thirsty dudes out there online. And they might seem cool at first, but the tone of the text will just start changing after about 3 days of going back and forth. And next thing you know is he wants a picture of you.
Well, it goes from how you're doing
What's going on?
to what you're wearing.
No, what aren't you wearing? And why don't you take it off? One other piece of advice I have for Miss Lola. One of the hardest things to do as a single person is to just that initial approach, the initial engagement, right? Like, it's just hard to go up to a stranger that you're interested in and start a conversation. It's difficult. It takes a lot of courage.
And one of the hardest things in any relationship is accepting that that person has a history before you. And usually that becomes the number one barrier when you're trying to break the ice.
I understand. So my advice for Lola is, if you're interested in a dude, you don't have to go up and talk to him. Just stare at him for a while. He'll come over. We're dumb. You know what I mean? We're dumb. You got to really stare and just make it obvious that you are open for business.
And here's something I want to say to compliment all women that are listening to this program. Men are always trying to get at you. Men are super thirsty.
So
Let me say this again. Men are super thirsty. To the point where the guy that's holding the door for you, when you 10 steps back, he really just want to smile, get out of eye, and you say thank you. And then look at the license plate number when you walk by. The guy that's offering to buy you and your friends drinks, he's not being nice.
He's not nice.
He wants your number. He want to see where you guys are going next. And if you could break away from the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that just say, hey, you know what? I just want your work. I just want your number for work purposes. You know what he's going to hit you and do?
He doesn't
so what
want
you doing
it for work
tonight?
purposes.
What you getting into? So I agree with you. Love genuinely happens eye to eye, face to face. Stay away from the online dating.
Next one comes from the king of music. Any good questions when you meet her family? I have this advice. You shouldn't be asking too many questions. You know, you don't want to seem like an investigator. You know, you should be answering the questions and you should be polite. And you should be clearing your own plate. You should just be doing everything that you can do and focus on impressing moms. Because the dad's not going to like you.
Here's what you have to also do. Well said. You can't bring old baggage into a new situation. That includes your social media pages. So if you're in a new relationship, anything that references an old relationship or a past you on Twitter, on IG, you need to delete all of that.
And if you say to yourself, oh, she would never go back that far, you are wrong. You are so wrong. You're so wrong. There'll be blisters on her thumbs from scrolling just to get to the bottom of your Instagram page.
Didn't you say meeting someneone's family?
Yes, I did, sir.
Okay, so mom and dad aren't scouring social media, but the cousins, the uncles,
everybody,
the nieces, the nephews are.
They won't even. I've got a new boyfriend. It's not even what's his name anymore. Now it's what's his handle. Let me check that out.
No doubt.
Nothing is. You cannot show up empty-handed. You just cannot. No. It doesn't even if you have to stop at a 7-Eleven and grab some Cheetos, just don't show up with nothing.
And also, parents see through phony.
You should probably get some ice cream. Cheetos.
Be yourself.
Yep. Good point, Mr. Rose.
They can tell if you're a predator or that you're legitimate, usually.
This is an interesting one here.
Oh, here's another thing that's really important. It's really important. Really important. And this is really for men, but I'm going to apply it to women.
Okay.
And this is coming from a mama's boy.
Okay.
If you know a man, okay, and he claims to be your friend, whether it's your homeboy, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever. If a guy claims to be your friend and you've never met his mom or a significant other, you're truly not his friend.
Next one.
You start thinking about how many friends you got right there, didn't you?
A little bit. This is from Chanu. I'm planning on moving in with my girlfriend of 2 years. It's a big move that I'm nervous about. Any advice?
Yes. And I'm going to stress this as we continue because all of these questions are along the same lines of this.
Relationships.
When you're talking about moving in, that means you got to leave all of the other stuff behind. So as you move into your new spot with your new girlfriend, anything that reminds you of an old relationship, don't bring it.
Here's my advice, and this is basically what you're saying, and you said it without saying it. Don't move into her house. Don't have her move into your house. Get a new place that the two of you can build together.
Because here's why. There's going to be a night when you have adult beverages, and she's having them too, and she's going to be like, am I the only girl that's been on this bed?
You're either going to lie or really disappoint her. Those are your two options. The best thing to do right there is probably just to get up and walk out of the room. Just walk out of the house. Come back in 2 hours.
And here's the other thing for men and women. We're on to your trick. We know that you're following 5,000 people really so you can follow 5 people.
Yep.
We're on to your trick. So before you move in, don't make the phone a bomb. Let me explain what that means. When you get in the bed, your phone shouldn't have to be in another room in a shoe.
If either of you have your phones on airplane mode, you need to have a conversation.
Correct.
Like something ain't right.
That's not a true relationship when you are home alone, guess where the phone is? In the bed with you.
Oh,
on the dresser.
My phone battery died. Can I use your phone? And if that person has to like do some stuff on their phone first before they hand it to you, there's something there that I want to see.
All you gotta do, and
let me close 5 applications before I hand it to you.
It happens in any relationship. Let me Google something.
If your man or girl gets a text, and you're in a serious relationship, you live together, they get a text, and on the front of the phone it just says, message received, maybe there's something to hide. Yep. My texts are popping right up on my screen.
And it's important for us to put these things out there because we don't want to see anybody get their feelings hurt. These are things to watch for.
Yep. So, Jalen, you give very rational, educated analysis when it comes to sports on this program.
Thank you, sir.
I don't do that. So this segment, I'm going to give you my insane predictions for this weekend's NFL action. I've got 10 insane playoff predictions. Are you ready?
Sure.
I would like you to evaluate their validity.
Okay.
First, insane playoff prediction. The Falcons throw all over the Seahawks secondary. Richard Sherman gets ejected from the game because of a fist fight with a teammate.
That's absurd. That will not happen.
Possible? We've seen him get in heated arguments with teammates. We've seen him be held back from teammates. You know there's a chance. There's a chance that they could be down 3 touchdowns and Matt Ryan goes over the top.
But here's the thing you have not seen. Him get into a physical altercation.
I know.
With the teammate.
Okay.
Now, James Harrison, that's a different story.
Who knows? Joey Porter?
No question.
Who knows? Who knows?
If Pittsburgh not looking too good on defensive end, I'm staying out of his way.
Insane prediction number 2. This one's more just like a fantasy wish. Dak gets hurt in the fourth quarter of a close game. Tony Romo comes out and leads the Cowboys to victory. And Jerry Jones announces that Tony Romo will be the starter in the conference finals right there on the field. Jerry Jones makes that announcement. Jalen, you know that's possible.
This is one of those happy endings that should only take place in your dreams.
Yep. I'm fighting back so many jokes right now. So many jokes right now. Yep. You know that can happen. Not only do you know that can happen, you're secretly kind of rooting for it. And so are the people listening to this show. Everybody listening to this show is secretly kind of rooting for this to happen. Like, listen, if you're not a Cowboys fan, you're a fan of the sport. You're a fan of storylines. You're a fan of drama. You're a fan of entertainment. There would be nothing more entertaining than Tony Romo going out there, gunslinging the ball around, throwing it to Des Bryant, who makes a controversial catch in the back of the end zone to win the game.
Here's what's going to happen.
And then Jerry Jones reaches down and picks up a bottle of whiskey and chugs the whole thing. Barfs all over the people below him.
There's going to be a shootout that takes place in Cowboy Stadium.
Okay.
But the problem is Dak is going to throw for 275 and 2 TDs. Mm-hmm. Ezekiel's going to rush for 2 TDs. Dez is going to catch one. Beasley's going to catch one. The Dallas Cowboys are going to win this football.
Like I said, that sounds like
and
educated, rational analysis. That's not what I'm here for.
You know what else is going to happen?
Jerry Jones chugs a bottle of whiskey?
No. How about this? You have 2 amazing twins at home, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How does it look when you're carrying them simultaneously?
I feel like a boss.
How does that muscle memory? Show me that muscle memory.
Right here. Boom.
Okay.
One in each hand.
Correct.
No, light work. Not only that, I'll carry a cup of coffee and I'll change one of their diapers while I'm carrying.
That picture is what I want to see Tony Romo doing. With clipboards on one side and Gatorade for Dak in the other. That's what I want him doing. Okay?
Crazy prediction number 3. Jimmy Garoppolo plays 2 series for the Patriots, and Tom Brady's not even hurt.
I'm disappointed in you.
Why? Because Jacoby Brissett, he's too... No, you got to get Jimmy ready in case Tom goes down. Jacoby might not even suit up for this one.
I already felt like Josh McDaniels and Jimmy Garoppolo could easily be a package deal somewhere next year. I agree with you that the Patriots can and should get up early.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's going to be to the point where Brady wants to come out of the game. But I have to agree with you. He will be forced to come out, and Garoppolo will play. That prediction is going to come correct.
Thank you, sir. What about this one? The Steelers dominate the Chiefs on a cold Sunday night in Kansas City.
That ain't happening.
And then they start celebrating. Mike Tomlin handcuffs Joey Porter to a radiator in his hotel room.
Well, a couple of things. Joey Porter is on a leave from the team, so
he's been reinstated. He's not being charged. He didn't get charged. They said, you know what, Joey, you're back. Yep.
Oh, see, that's why I like towns like Pittsburgh. I truly do. Because a couple of people got on the phone like, you know who that is.
Yeah.
Right?
Did he punch him?
No, but here's the other thing.
What did he do? Held his hands?
Hit the brakes. This ain't your normal sports town. You don't mess with the Steelers' win or loss record.
Not in the playoffs.
You need to find a way to go down to the police station, and we're going to drop those charges.
Yep.
That's what we're going to do. We got a game this Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's way more important than you standing here making sure that
were there weapons
you're
involved?
Doing...
I'm sorry, what did he do? He grabbed your hands? Is that what he grabbed your hands? Oh, we're going to drop those charges.
He was like, that's crazy.
You ready for another prediction?
Mm-hmm.
So
he was doing top flight security of the world.
Moving the game in Kansas City to the night has one huge implication that I need to recognize. The tailgating. That's another 4 hours of tailgating. I'm sorry, that's another 8 hours of tailgating. And the Chiefs fans can tailgate. Another thing the Chiefs fans can do, eat. I am predicting at least 12 Chiefs fans are hospitalized due to overeating because of the extended tailgate period.
I think people getting dehydration, claustrophobia when they're around large crowds, eating and therefore getting sick will happen when you have a stadium of 60, 70,000 people. So we're not rooting for this to happen.
Kinda.
But clearly, when you have 90,000 people at a stadium in KC, you're going to have 12 incidents.
Thank you. My final prediction. Brock Osweiler plays so bad he gets benched for Tom Savage. Tom Savage plays so bad he gets benched for rapper 21 Savage.
I think by the time the Texans end the game, you'll see Bum B quarterback.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
Ready for the NFL playoff Twitter questions?
Sure.
All right. We always, on this show, part of that is finding out what the people want. So we go to our 1-800-FULL-HOURS Twitter feed and take some questions. This guy's got a great handle. So he was in the Twitter game early. It's State Football. Shout to State Football. Twitter launched. He found his handle real quick. State Football has this question. After the Patriots get up by 30, any chance they toss in Jimmy Grapes or Jacoby Brissett? We've covered this. I think there's a strong chance that is exactly what will happen. I think the real question is, will they replace Tom Savage with 21 Savage?
Nope.
My
This one's
media
good.
challenge is cover Garoppolo without talking about how he looks.
He's a very
You only
handsome
do that
man.
for like 4
You
players.
sound jealous because he's very handsome. T. Chang send us another tweet. No relation to T-Pain. Any sleeper picks to be a playoff hero? Good question. From T. Chang.
I gave a couple of sleeper picks. To me, Atlanta beating the Seahawks.
No, but individuals. Like a hero.
Oh, a hero.
Tony Romo.
Devontae
Tony.
Freeman.
Romo. Good one. Next question we have, also from T. Chang. What do you think would be the most entertaining matchup in the Super Bowl? Entertaining. I'm going to say Steelers in the AFC, just for pure entertainment purposes. Tom Brady, you can throw 5-yard outs. You know, Big Ben's going to let it fly.
If you're talking about letting it fly, then that's Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan? You think Steelers, Falcons?
First off, the most entertaining Super Bowl matchup would clearly be Lions and Patriots.
Well, duh. I would say Cowboys, Steelers would be my most entertaining. Because anytime you get Jerry involved,
I
it's
say
in Houston.
Cowboys versus Patriots.
I love the Patriots. You know, I'm rooting for the Patriots. They're my hometown team. They're
Proverbial
not particularly interesting
America's
to watch.
team versus the All-American guy, Tom Brady, in the New
When
England
I show you
Patriots.
this Bruce Lee video, you're going to be a Patriots fan. You're going to go online to NFL.com and buy a lot of Patriots stuff once you see this video.
I remember I wanted to be Kareem in the Bruce Lee movie. He got him good. Put that foot in his chest.
Next question is from Mr. Wang. He wants to know, should NFL schedule a playoff game overseas? Simple answer to this question.
Nope.
Now you're messing with the money.
Yep. And the home field advantage.
And here's the other thing about being an owner. You know, one of the greatest things that you're allowed to do? Enjoy the game with your family, friends, loved ones, and business partners. And you know where they're not trying to be? When their team finally makes it to the playoffs.
Overseas.
And you're getting celebrated by your home audience.
Yeah.
Is overseas playing a football game. It's one of those things when you put it on your schedule and then it comes up like, why schedule this?
So I have a question, Jalen. You've sat in the owner's suite before, okay, various times. I've always wondered this. The owners know that the camera is going to be on them at some point, right? And when the camera's on you, you can't exactly be knocking back a beverage. So, like, I've always wondered this is, like, during commercial breaks or during halftime, you know what I mean? Or is there a secret spot? Do they ever get up and walk away from the cameras to have a little sip of something? Do the owners imbibe alcoholic beverages during the games? Obviously, it's a case-by-case thing.
No comment.
Okay. Another question we have. This one is from Anthony. Which quarterbacks will have the best chance to throw for over 300 yards this weekend? A couple come to mind. I mean, you can already.
Aaron Rodgers.
Matt Ryan. You can put Matt Ryan in for 300 right now.
Chance. Dak Prescott. Tom Brady. Big Ben.
It's going to be a fun weekend of football. Let's be honest. Let's be real.
Last weekend was a snooze fest.
Last weekend was not good.
Like backup quarterbacks on every team.
Lions were in the playoffs. It was just
like
weird.
That?
Yeah, it was just weird.
I was really like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You watched that game.
It's like that.
You watched that game.
At least I have a team.
You watched that game.
Die easy.
All
fan.
my teams are in the playoffs.
Get off the bandwagon.
Papi Coon wants to know, who's the most slept-on team left in the playoffs? That's another great question from Papi Coon. Thank you very much, Papi Coon.
Kansas City Chiefs.
It's a great answer because you know what? I'm sleeping on them right now. Like I can't imagine a way in which they beat the Steelers.
How about this? When we're talking about all of these teams that could come out of the AFC, let me just put this out there. There's a really good chance you could be watching the Super Bowl after the Kansas City Chiefs have beaten the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots.
When you say really good chance, you mean like 0.5%, right? 1%?
You heard it here first.
You're telling me the Chiefs are going to beat the Steelers, travel to Foxborough, and beat the Patriots?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay. Next question we have is from Daxton. Great name, Daxton. Daxton Bonnewell. Solid name from Daxton. Daxton Bonnewell. I would hire that dude sight unseen.
Like Phil Yates.
Phil Yates, another great name.
I told him that when I saw him. You know what I wish my name was?
You've got a great name. Jalen. Jalen don't.
No, all right, I take that back.
You got a great name.
You know one of my favorite names?
Okay.
And it's not real. This is why I appreciate when people tell me that they named their son or daughter after me. All races, ethnicities, and creeds. There are a lot of Denzels. There are a lot of Shaqs.
There's not a lot. Wait. You say all races, ethnicities, and creeds? I'm saying, of course, there is at least one or two Jalens in all races, ethnicities, or creed. But there's a large majority of the Jalens are black people. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real.
No, it will surprise you. I'm living this.
Okay.
I'm the case study. Okay. And I see the people come up to me that also have named girls Jalen.
It's a great name.
Now, Denzel, one of the greatest actors of all time, my godfather, multi-talented.
3 Godfathers, 3 days from Jalen Rose.
Shaquille O'Neal, one of the greatest moguls and basketball players of all time. They supposed to have kids named after them.
Shaquille O'Neal, my godfather.
But you know what I learned? They're all black. That's a distinguishing factor. So, with that being said,
I didn't even read his question yet. Daxton Bonnewell's question is this. What would it mean to the NFL if Dak and Zeke tore up the playoffs? It's a good question. It's a good proposal. They tore up the regular season.
what it would mean is the NFC better be on notice.
Here's another thing. Some things are good for business. Like, I'm not sitting here rooting for billionaires to become bigger billionaires, but I am rooting for the proverbial tide to float all of the boats to create a better product. And rookies are exciting. And when your biggest franchises are doing well, it just creates more excitement around the league.
The AFC's elite have had that conference on lock.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, Brady won a Super Bowl.
Roethlisberger
won Super Bowls. In the NFC, it's been more wide open.
Seahawks a little
almost
bit.
like the Eastern
Packers
Conference in basketball.
Yeah.
And so, what this may say for the league, to answer the question, is that the Cowboys may be moving toward possibly being that team, though that conference has Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees and Cam Newton and some amazing players that reside on that side, that they may be moving toward dominance. We'll see.
Jalen, will you please tell us the name that you really wish you had?
Oh, thank you. The name that is my alter ego growing up, Thurston Howell III. That's my guy.
Great rapper. Shout to the Spit Squad in the Lowlands. This is my new favorite segment. I will do this every day until they cancel us, which could be next week. It's voicemail time. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the show. I like this because when you send us a tweet, I can see the words. When you leave a voicemail, I can feel the words. Let's feel the first voicemail.
So dating a fellow employee can be a difficult situation. I'm currently involved with more than one, and it's getting kind of hectic. So my question for Jalen is, how do you maintain a professional and personal relationship with a current employee? Easy.
Thank you very much for calling. I appreciate a couple of things. He was clearly anonymous.
He didn't leave his name or anything.
He didn't say his name, where he was from. But I really want some advice. I follow the pod. Y'all my homies.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to mention where and when I
It
listen.
sounded like he was going through it,
because
too.
somebody might find out this was
It
me.
sounded like he was kind of going
But
through it.
I have the drop the mic comment as somebody that also dates a fellow employee of the Worldwide Leader. But with that being said, here's what you can't do. You can't be cheating.
Nope.
And from what I heard, not only are you cheating, you're cheating with a fellow employee. Here's what you're going to do.
Another one?
Here's what you're going to do. You want some advice? Okay. If you continue to do that, you won't be with either one of them, and you're going to lose your job.
When he started off, he was like, dating an employee can be hard. And I was like, yeah, I've done that. It can be. There's some challenges. He's like, and I'm dating two of them. I was like, wait a second. This sounds like a problem that you created. This sounds like a problem that you created.
Yeah.
Let's listen to the next voicemail.
Hey, Jalen and Jacoby. This is Joe from Dallas. Listen to your podcast every day. I was just wondering, if y'all were to meet each other in high school, do y'all think y'all would be friends? Big fan. Keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate it.
Well, my basketball team would be much better. That's number one. You'd be tearing up the Western Massachusetts Suburban League. You'd be killing them. We'd be beating Holyoke. We'd be beating Central. We'd be going to states. Of course we'd be friends. I'm a passer. I don't need shots. I'll be setting you up for buckets all day. Of course we would be friends. Let's move on.
What's up, Jalen and Jacoby? This is Chris from Oakland. Been a listener since day one, since Podfather. Just got a question for you. So Michael Rappaport and Gene Moody challenged you to a 2-on-2 basketball game on their podcast. What up, though? You gonna accept or what? Keep getting them checked.
First off, take out your phone right now. Tweet DeMarcus Cousins. Hashtag unblock Bill.
Unblock Bill.
Please continue.
So, another podcast duo challenged us to a 2-on-2 basketball game.
And we got love for them.
I love Mike Rapp. Mike Rapp's in this building just as much as we are. But here's the thing.
And here's the thing.
I
got to tell you a secret.
I'm going to tell you something. NBA players are really good at basketball.
I got to tell you a secret.
What's that?
Something happens with David Jacoby on this program. Go to the bullpen. Got Ben Lyons and Michael Rappaport on deck.
Okay.
I'm joking.
But for real, I'm not playing 2-on-2 against these dudes. Because it's not fun when you have an NBA player in the 2-on-2 basketball game, especially 2-on-2. Like, you would just post up and we would just dump it down to you, and then they would double, and then I would hit a 15-footer. I can hit a 15-footer. I'm going to go 7 for 10 on 15-footers.
Certain things, being a former player, continue to travel with my game. Mm-hmm. Now, I'll sag off of you and give you the jumper all day.
Sure.
But when I got the ball, I can score.
It's going in the hoop. And the thing is, I think people underestimate the gap between regular humans and professional athletes. There's a large gap. You could be watching a game and be like, I can't believe they're missing these open shots. Like, I would play better defense on him. But then when you actually play with a former professional athlete, it's not.
It's real simple. I'm hezzy 15 to 18 feet. You take that away, you're off balance, I'm driving. I get really mad, post up. Box.
I've been playing with you, and we've been down by like 4 buckets, and you just switched. You were just like, oh, okay, I'm just going to bump into people until I'm open under the basket. What are you going to do, call an offensive foul to pick up game? Go ahead. I love that podcast, I Am Rappaport. I love Mike Rapp. I'm not playing those dudes 2-on-2. So they can say we're scared or whatever, but they know what's really going on.
We got to get on Nori's podcast.
There's too many bottles of alcohol around. You know, so many bottles of alcohol on that podcast. It's the Drink Champs podcast.
Yes, we can't.
I don't know if that's a good idea
we can't
for us.
have
I don't know if
adult
that's a good idea.
beverages and then talking to
with
live
open microphones. That's not a good idea. That's not a good idea.
No.
Let's listen to the next voicemail.
Hey, Jalen and Jacoby. It's David from Rhode Island. I've been listening to the show for about 3 years now when it was just a podcast about the Trump days. And I was wondering, David Jacoby, are you a diehard fan of any team? Because from what I can tell, you really aren't. I don't really see how that could happen. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep giving the people what they want. Thanks.
He does listen to the show. I am not a diehard fan of any particular team. I used to be a diehard Red Sox fan, won too many World Series, don't care anymore. Used to be a diehard Celtics fan, went to, 100 games in Madison Square Garden. Then it moved, I'm not a diehard fan of any team. And people act like this is some sort of sports blasphemy. Like the Podfather, this doesn't even make sense to him. Like, he doesn't understand this. Like, this is just how I feel. And one thing you have to be is in touch with yourself. Like, I go to Clippers games, I root for the Clippers. That's just what I do. I'm a fair weather, bandwagon, die easy fan. That's just who I am. The same way I don't like tomatoes, I don't really like any professional sports teams.
I'm going to teach people something real quick. How to locate a sports fan or a bandwagon fan. Real quick. You ready for this? I'm going to name the teams that have the most championships. Yankees, Lakers, Celtics, Steelers, Cowboys, and Packers. Now, please note, none of those teams play in the same market. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If somebody claims to be a sports fan or works in the media and they root for 2 of those teams, that means they're chasing them.
Think about your friends.
Think about your
Think
friends.
about your favorite
I'm going to tell you the
personalities.
teams again. How can you be a fan of the Packers, Steelers, Cowboys, Lakers, Yankees, and Celtics, other than the fact they have the most notoriety and the most rings, when 2 of those teams don't play in the same market?
Interesting point, Mr. Rose. Yep. Thank you so much for listening on ESPN Radio, for watching on ESPN2 and ESPN News, and subscribing
Thank you
to the Jalen and Jacoby podcast.
You're far too kind.
Got to give the people